do see it differently because I'm thinking about the people who are not a part of anybody's elite who are hurting tonight. There are African-American women who know a little bit about being talked down to and know a little bit about having their economic dreams crushed, who tried to dream a big dream over the past couple of months. And tonight they're trading in a lot of hope for a lot of hurt. And they were hoping that maybe this time, one of their own could be seen as worthy. And once again, they were facing rejection. And that hurts. They thought tomorrow morning they're going to walk out with their shoulders back a little bit, maybe able to breathe for the first time and feel like they belong someplace. They did everything that they knew how to do. And it's going to be harder than it should be tomorrow for them to hold their heads up. And they're not the only people who are hurting tonight. If you're a parent of a trans kid, your child's face was used as a springboard to power for somebody. That doesn't feel good. There are going to be people tomorrow, we're going to be handing clothes at the dry cleaners to people who don't have papers. There are going to be people who are going to be cleaning your teeth tomorrow who don't have papers. And they're terrified tonight. And so it's easy to blow this off. Oh, look at the elites. They're going to get their comeuppance. It's not the elite that's going to pay the price. It's people who woke up this morning with a dream and are going to bed with a nightmare. And those people deserve to be respected and held and talked to. Those are the people who are going to pay the price for whatever Donald Trump decides to do.
Well, good damn afternoon, Americans. Jericho Green here with you once again. Did you guys hear that bullshit? If you're the parent of a trans kid, how much you want to bet Van Jones's kids are going to be trans? Even though it's mathematically impossible if left to nature. How much you want to bet when his kids are going to end up being fucking trans, a Ku Klux trans member? I wouldn't take that bet. You might lose that one. But black women, that they thought they were going to be able to walk with their shoulders back and their head held high. What'd you walk around like before Trump got reelected? Were you just looking at the ground with a Quasimodo back? Because you're a black woman. That was another thing with the bullshit celebrity push for Kamala. When they got all these so-called black celebrities together, D.L. Hughley and all these other feckless ding-dongs. We have to uplift the black woman. And the black woman, she's the most downtrodden, most despised, most hated, most unloved, most disrespected, and the black woman. Well, guess what? I know one black woman for sure that did not get the memo that she's supposed to be some downtrodden weight of the world. She used to nurse the white woman's baby, and now she's nursing the community and all that bullshit. She didn't get that memo. She went out, she got married, she had a family, she was successful in business and life. Served in this United States Armed Services. Guess who that is? Me mom. My mom wasn't no downtrodden, most disrespected. You better not disrespect my mom. You better not do anything disrespectful to somebody else in front of her. You know how many times we've been out in public and my mom sees some teenager sagging his pants? She'll go, hey, pull your pants up. Nobody wants to see that. That's my mom. 10 years in the United States Army as a nurse. Are you out of your mind? You gonna tell my mom that she's downtrodden? She needs to be uplifted? My mom's already uplifted. What are you talking about? Where are you finding these black women? My mom wasn't like that. So I have the example in my life, so I don't believe bullshit like that. You see why it's so important to be a good parent? Even in their adulthood, you're keeping your kids out of some bullshit because you don't cripple their mind with that bullshit victim mentality that because of the color of your skin, you got it harder than anybody else. Even though your ass has been here just as long as everybody else, for some reason you just can't get ahead. Here come all these Africans and Indians and Asians. Fucking road runner. Meet, peering right past your ass, up the ladder of success. And some of them Indians and them Africans are darker than we could ever dream. Those fools are black. They're black as shit. They leave fingerprints on charcoal. So what's our excuse? They don't speak the language. They don't eat the food. They don't do none of that shit. Pure right past us. So when you hand down that victim mentality to your kids, it holds them back in life. When you feed them the lie that you gotta work 10 times harder, shut the fuck up. You just gotta work. But this black woman, the most disrespected, the most hated, not my mom. So why can't you other black women get your shit together? My mom had her shit together my whole life. Still has her shit together today. So what's everybody else's excuse? I don't know. I don't have those excuses because my parents didn't give me those excuses. And I thank them every day for it. I didn't need a red pill moment. I was born taking red pills. Are you kidding me? But you got these punk asses in the media. Oh, Donald Trump. He's back in the White House. Why? Not because Kamala and Timothy sucked. Not because the American people are tired of the bullshit. They're tired of the high cost of living. They're tired of being vilified because they don't believe that a man can duct tape his nuts back and now be allowed in the woman's locker room. Because we don't believe that a man, a boy, or whatever, in high school, whatever grade they're in, can take some Flintstone vitamin hormones that might not even work, and now you can get on the wrestling mat with my daughter? Huh? No, we're tired of that shit. We're tired of our country needing billions, but we're sending billions over to some Eastern European cokehead who used to do skits in latex pants and high heels. No, thank you. We're sick of our money going to Israel and Palestine. Fuck it. Let's pay for both ends of the war. Why not? We got the money. Right, American taxpayer? Hey, American taxpayer, wake up. Get your ass back to work. You know how much shit we have to pay for outside of our borders? Oh, and don't get me started on the border. Don't get me started on how the American people feel about the fucking border, even though the border czar, and if you look up the word czar, that means whatever precedes that, border czar, traffic czar, whatever czar, that is to be your sole focus. So when Sloppy Joe took that shaky finger and tapped Kamala to be the border czar, that meant pack your bags, you're going down to the border. Nah, she got there, what, a few months ago? Been in office 4 years, just got down to the border, not even a few months ago, maybe a month ago. You suck. But it's not her fault. It wasn't her lack of policy. It wasn't for her uncomfortable laugh and her inability to answer the simplest questions. No, it was not her fault. It was your fault. No, don't point that finger at me. No. Point it at these white women. That's right. White women, you evil blue-eyed bitches. It's your fault. Oh, no. Don't go anywhere. Mexican and Latino. Hey, Latinos, don't you love when these fucking like Sonny Holston or whatever, she's like part Puerto Rican or some shit. And all of a sudden when they're talking, you know what? And I want to talk about that Latina. Don't throw that accent in there. Just say Latino. It's all right. But you Latino men who went up 13% over 2020 voting for Trump, that's your fault. White women, Latino men, and black men, we are talking to you. It's your fault, not Kamala's, for running the sloppiest, runny shit sandwich campaign you've ever seen and being the most unlikable human being on this planet. No. It's not her fault. It's your fault. And I have proof. Watch this shit. Watch this. Once you listen to Joe Scarborough, who has a CNN dildo in his mouth, and Al Sharptongue, who looks like he died 3 months ago.
Donald Trump fared very well with Hispanic voters, especially Hispanic men. The numbers are coming in still a little early, but I think he did better with black men than was expected in the past. What do you think pushed that, especially with the Hispanic voters going for Donald Trump as much as they did? Because that made a big difference.
I think that a lot of it was he was able to sell a lot of Hispanic voters that immigration was a threat to them, that some of the people coming across the border was a threat to them. I think that we've got to be honest, among Hispanic men and black men, there's a lot of misogyny. And I think that we've got to deal with the reality that he appealed to this whole false macho thing that some black men and some Latino men went for. I think that we cannot sit around just bedwetting. We've got to deal with the reality, and we've got to deal with the situation as it is in our own communities.
Well,
now, Al Sharptongue, just because you hold your own knees up by your ears and whoever is pounding you has to put their hand over your mouth because you're making too much noise, that doesn't mean that other men feel that way. What are you talking about? There's a lot of misogyny. What do you mean by misogyny? Are you not a man? Do you not understand how men are? He was talking about men like he's not one. Misogyny has nothing to do with it. Kamala sucks. And not like the Willie Brown way, like bad. She's not good at her job. But they weren't done. White women, Latino men, black men, get back over here.
Black women tried to save this country again last night. 92% of black women voted for the vice president. You have Latinas in the 70 percentile voting for the vice president. What we did not have is white women who voted about 52%, right, for Donald Trump, uneducated white women.
Ooh, uneducated. You dumb white chicks. And she has since come out and said, no, what I meant was not college educated. Oh, so because you didn't go to college, you're uneducated. You either have a college degree or you're stupid? Is that what you're saying, Sonny Holston, you vapid idiot? No, I meant women, white women who didn't go to college. Why do you have to keep saying it? White women, black women tried to save the country again. Black women are always trying to save the country, but they're steady beat down because they're just poor old black women. Mm-hmm. Man, shut up with that shit. Why does it always got to be something sad? Something devastating when it comes to black folks. Like we can't just have happy moments like everybody else because no matter what, oh, we're black. Shut up. Unfortunately, that's not the last clip I got from this dumb.
Unfettered power. And so I worry not about myself, actually. I don't worry about my station in life. I worry about the working class. I worry about my mother, a retired teacher. I worry about our elderly and their Social Security and their Medicare. I worry about my children's future, especially my daughter, who now has less rights than I have. And I remember my father telling me many, many years ago that I was the first person in his family to enjoy full civil rights. And now I have less civil rights than I had when he.
So Trump's going to take away your civil rights? You're not going to be allowed to go into the bathroom or the diner or the school of your choice? You're going to have to go through a separate entrance? Or you're going to have to go to a whole separate building altogether. What do you mean he's going to take away your civil rights? But there are so many people that are so stupid that they're going to believe her. But the election just showed that there are not enough of them to make a difference. So there's a bright spot. We thought there were so many idiots out there, but it turns out there's not enough because Kamala got her ass whooped. But she feels sorry for her daughter. Why? Because it might be a little tougher for your daughter to kill her baby if she accidentally lets a dude go, this, and she doesn't want stretch marks before the summer. Is that why you feel bad for your daughter? But what media freak out, what media meltdown would be complete without Jimmy fucking Kimmel crying like a bitch?
Jimmy Kimmel actually choked back tears as he spoke about President-elect Trump's historic victory.
It was a terrible night.
Actually, I think Jimmy Kimmel's probably choking down more than tears.
Jimmy Kimmel actually choked back tears as he spoke about President-elect Trump's historic victory.
It was a terrible night for women, for children, for the hundreds of thousands of hardworking immigrants who make this country go. For healthcare, for our climate, for science, for our allies in Ukraine, for NATO, for the truth.
The show started with a joke, Kimmel and his sidekick Guillermo packing up to leave the country.
What's with the suitcase?
I'm going back to Mexico.
Trump has been a butt of late-night jokes for years, but it accelerated during the campaign. In September and October, the late-night comics between them told 1,428 jokes targeting Trump and just 35 aimed at Kamala. The mood was somber here at the Ed Sullivan Theater in New York, where Stephen Colbert taped his first Late Show following Trump's victory. He made no secret of how he feels.
Well, it happened again. After a bizarre and vicious campaign fueled by a desperate need not to go to jail, Donald Trump has won the 2024 election.
Over at NBC, Seth Meyers was equally blunt.
I don't think Donald Trump's a good person. I'd even go so far as to say he's a bad person.
What a bitch. What kind of man cries over the results of an election? Are you kidding me? How many of you cried in 2020 when that one was stolen from us? How many of you even came close to crying? It was a bad day for Ukraine, for women and children. What are you crying for? When you go pee, do you sit down? I bet he does, because there's nothing there. You have to have a vagina between your legs to be crying that much over silly shit like that. Our friends in Ukraine and NATO? Dude, shut up. And Colbert mentioned that a vicious campaign fueled by not wanting to go to jail. Yeah, Trump's not going to jail. Because now that he's president-elect, you can't fuck with a sitting president, you idiots. All those charges are getting dropped. That bullshit in New York, that bullshit in Georgia, it's all going away because it was all a bunch of horseshit in the first place to keep him out of the White House. None of it worked. The charges, the convictions, the attempted assassinations, the impeachments, the slander, the defamation, none of it worked. And the American people told them that none of it worked. Our elections still work. We still have the power. We need to listen to that song by Snap every morning. I got the power. Are you kidding me? We thought the machine ran everything. You know, you all thought the same thing was going to happen this time that happened in 2020. I know I did. I know if I went to sleep, I was going to wake up to the gah in the White House. But it didn't happen. The people spoke. Everybody spoke. We're not falling for your sorry-ass celebrity endorsements. And we will all bathe in the tears of the mainstream mediocres and all their paid shills and perverts who were caught on tape, and now they got to get out there and tap dance or they're going to federal prison. None of it means shit. Trump didn't do any of the things he's accused of, and now when he's back in the White House, it is on. And I don't think it's going to be about vengeance. I think it's going to be about laser focus and bringing the cost of our lives down and making us number one in the world for everything, production, energy, everything. We're all about to win. Our border is going to be secure. We're going to start deporting these motherfuckers. I don't care what your country's like. We don't owe you shit. I even saw an article that said if we deport enough illegals, the cost of housing will go down because so many of them will be opened up. And there are a bunch of different ways to deport people. I think self-deportation is the best, but it's not going to be all about kicking in doors Elian Gonzalez style and pointing MP5 in their face and putting zip ties on them. I'm not mad at that in some situations, especially the criminals. I don't mind if they're a little rough with you. But there's a lot of ways to deport a lot of people. And that's what Trump's going to do because that's what we want, because that's what he's for. He's our servant. They are public servants. So serve. I'll meet you guys in the comments. I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. I'm out.